Oh, you better believe those new perks are overpowered. That Sundering Stacks is no joke. Seriously, they nerfed the crap out of Rapier, and look at this. Oh my god, Sundering Stacks just completely redeems all the nerfs they gave to Rapier, but I guess every weapon can run them, so it's not just a Rapier thing. And the more rapidly you can hit your opponent, well, the better it is on that particular weapon. So Rapier, being such a fast weapon, takes really good advantage of this new perk. And you can get that rend to stack up to 5 times, so up to a 20% rend from your weapon. I mean, damn, I don't think there is a better offensive perk in the game right now. It is so freaking strong. But the downside, and as you guys might have seen from the title, is that it is incredibly expensive to buy the heavy metal conglomerate that you need to apply this perk to whatever weapon you want. It's like 100k on the trading post. Now, I got really lucky. I actually got mine for 60k, so yeah, if you can get a deal on it, I would highly recommend it. Will the price of it go down? I think so, but I also think because it is pretty universally the best perk for your weapon right now, it's going to be expensive for quite a while. So my recommendation, if you guys want to try this perk, put in a buy order and just hope you get lucky enough to pick one up for less than 100k. Anyhow, I upgraded my Narwhal Tusk with it, and I went into OPR, and I had a lot of fun, and I really like the results. I feel like my Rapier is doing really good damage, even though it was nerfed. Of course, if you guys want to see not only the new weapon perk that I'm running, but the other new perks that I have kind of changed up for my build this patch, there is a breakdown of the build at the end of the video. And big fun plus, I figured out how to get around the potion glitch in OPR. Apparently, it has to do with when you open your gear sets. So if you just reboot your game and you don't open your gear sets, you won't get the potion bug. Super awesome. So I was able to actually go out there and have fun in PvP. And as you guys can see, the performance is so much better. So a big thank you to my stream for letting me know how to kind of get around this bug. Anyhow, let's get into that PvP commentary. The second fight already. We're hanging out at, I think, the enemy outpost. I'm not sure what side I'm on for this match, but there's lots of enemies coming here. I get 2 players really low, and then the 3rd player comes in. I see some shots. There's a 4th player as well, and I just kind of back up here and try to reset. And I throw in a couple attacks with my fire staff, and we're going to see one enemy player kind of wandering out here towards me. And I go for that incinerate. Oh my god, he just walks right into it. We hit him with the stagger, get a little bit of a burn. He loads up his burnout. We get huge damage with a really nice flesh on him. And then I try to hit him with my own burnout, but oh man. Oh man. I frame his incinerate with the Rapier evade, and we finish him off. Then I head back inside, and it looks like one of the guys I was attacking here is still pretty low health. I just feed him the last little bit of damage to take him down, and now we've got 2 enemy players left. I think actually one of them just ran off, and a healer comes in instead. So I turn around and I start right away just blasting the healer, and here you can see that rend, man. Look at it being applied to him every time I hit him with my Rapier. Now, if an opponent eats a flurry from me and he takes all 5 hits, they are going to eat the full 20% rend. And yeah, the damage of my fire staff will also go up. The nice thing about having it be applied to the opponent like that is that when I switch to my other weapon, it still benefits from that rend. And oh my god, just so much damage on that guy. And then we hit him with a fireball, just a heavy attack, sorry, to finish him off. And in comes the friendly, smacking the healer down. We end up winning that fight. Oh, gee, I don't know, guys. Like I know they nerfed Rapier, but I feel like this perk is just tailor-made for a weapon like Rapier. Also, something like Blunderbuss or Firestaff with Flamethrower are going to be crazy good with this new perk as well. Anyway, moving on to the next clip here. Again, I move into the enemy kind of side outpost here, and I just start blasting these guys. I get really good damage with the fireball on the enemy archer there, and I just quickly pop my potions and my cleanse potion, and then I go for the flesh through. We managed to land a nice poke on that guy, and we bring him down, and then the enemy Firestaff player stays on top of me. He switches to his Void Gauntlet. That's okay. We're just going to pop our ultimate here to make sure we don't get interrupted as we go for the burnout through them. And it looks like 4 enemy players still here on the flag, and I'm just popping my skills, just trying to get them to come out into the open here. I go for the flurry and just completely miss. Absolutely amazing. So I head back inside here. And man, I love the new outpost rush. What can I say? There's so much terrain to work with. Now, Opponents will run away from you too in this terrain, but if you're like me and you play solo, this terrain is a huge help from what it was just open field in the old outpost rush. And here you can see again, we just get a little bit of damage, get behind those boxes. I throw a fireball into the boxes, which is, you know, that's just good target selection right there. This guy hits me with the flamethrower, and you can see he's actually running the Sundering Stacks as well, but we very quickly just chugged that cleanse potion. And I guess there's a good counter to the Sundering Stacks right there. We managed to get a nice heavy attack on him too, proccing the backdraft, but I think he's the medium armor fire staff flamethrower boy, so yeah, that's going to take a little bit of pressure to take him down. I quickly switched to the enemy healer there, and you can see the damage we can apply with the Rapier. He just takes a whole bunch of pressure, and there's a nice connection with the burnout. We land the fireball as well, and I missed the heavy attack, and now I'm totally out of stamina, but we just go for the flurry anyway, and I managed to get on top of him with the flesh. A little bit of a backstab. He goes down, and now we've got just 2 enemy players left here. I love that. We throw the fireball at our feet as we roll through there, and I just try to keep the pressure on this enemy ranger. And, oh my god, there's the flurry. So much damage. I throw the fireball down. I think he dodged it, or it was just missed. It was really close, and he ends up running up the side here to try to get away. And I turn around and, just incinerate at the air there. I don't know. I thought he might pull the Void Gauntlet out or go for the flamethrower, but instead he just backs up and waits, and then he goes for his flamethrower. Again, we counter it with our cleanse potion. He's going to have a really hard time killing us if we just are smart with that cleanse potion. And I load up the burnout. Unfortunately, I end up missing, but I do get the light attack in, and then quickly switch to the Rapier to get on top of this guy. He was low stamina, so we end up just catching him here, and the flurry actually giving us that little bit of reach. And it looks like the friendlies showed up and roasted that fire staff guy, or he ended up running away. Either way, here's a look at the build. Same attributes as before. We've got 100 dex, of course, to make that Rapier still hit hard. 350 intelligence for the fire staff, 50 focus for the healing. They did nerf the 100 perk on Constitution, but that's okay. Fire staff Rapier trees, no big changes here. I love having backdraft on the fire staff, though. We can get some really nice burst with that. And then, of course, the Rapier tree, we're just built around being able to attack and defend at the same time. And here is my glorious new Rapier. Check this out. Vicious, penetrating the empowered, and sundering stacks. This is the best Rapier I have ever had. It cost me a lot of money to put together, but man, this is one that's easy for people to get because you can upgrade the Narwhal Tusk yourself, but you do have to buy that perk. And then on the Inferno, I have Empowering Fireball. Honestly, I'm kind of thinking I want to put Empowering Fireball on my gear and instead put Sundering Stacks on the Inferno as well. I know they'll probably share the same max stacks, but that's okay. And then in the gear here, I actually have 1 Vigor. I was actually trying out having 2 Vigor as well. Vigor got buffed a lot, and so did the Desert Sunrise, so I think that it's a very useful perk, especially with all the fire staff going around. It's a good counter. And then for the gems, I actually want to run the energizing gems instead of fire damage. The reason for that is that when we look at the jewelry here, I've switched to Shirking Empower. This is just a bit more universal for me all around. And then on the ring, we still have fire damage, but I might make a change there. This is just kind of an intermediate stage for this build. And then the Gorgon's Earring is perfect. And then on the jewelry, you can see I have that new Turquoise Hardened gem to give me the increased armor value. So if you look at my percent resist, they're not amazing, but my armor is much higher than it used to be. I felt like this was a good change too. This is definitely something I would recommend you guys try out. You can't make these into rune glass though, so it can only be on your jewelry, or you just don't run the rune glass. And if you guys saw, I actually exited out of an OPR map early, and I was able to smuggle the speed buff out. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Anyways, have a great night, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. Capture the flag this weekend. We'll see how it goes. I'll see y'all next time.